Welcome everyone to this Ignite 2021 Azure update. In this, we will be focusing on Azure Infra update. Now to start with Azure Infra update, let's move on to the next one. We'll talk about Azure Hybrid. Now there are few Azure Hybrid announcements which has happened in this Ignite 2021, which has happened in the month of November. The first one is Azure Stack HCI. So the Azure Stack HCI is an Azure service that combines the price performance of hyperconverged infrastructure or HCI with native hybrid capabilities while helping enterprises leveraging existing skills. The latest update delivers new and differentiated capabilities for infrastructure management and security of Azure Stack HCI cluster. At the infrastructure level, updates includes GPU enablement for AI machine learning, soft kernel reboot, thin provisioning, and dynamic CPU capability. Management level updates include multi-cluster monitoring, ability to create and manage virtual machines from Azure portal, and managed guest OS inside VMs. At the security level, Server Core is now included in all Azure Stack HCI integrated systems to provide baseline hardening against current and future threats. Additionally, new tools are now available for IT pros to plan their deployment through sizing tools designed specifically for Azure Stack HCI. A new partner program allows IT pros to leverage validated independent software vendor or ISV solutions and partner services on Azure Stack HCI. There are few new Arc releases which has happened in this Ignite as well. And Azure Arc enables organizations to standardize visibility, operations, and compliance across a wide range of resources and locations by extending the Azure control plane. Enabled by Azure Arc, customer can bring Azure services to any infrastructure, including other clouds, delivering stability, fast deployment, and always up-to-date cloud innovation. Several new Azure Arc enabled feature in preview, which includes um, deep and native integration with Azure Stack HCI, the Azure Stack HCI and Azure service that combines the price performance and hyperconverged infrastructure with native capabilities while helping enterprises leverage existing skills. This update delivers new and differentiated capabilities for infrastructure management, security of Azure Stack HCI cluster. Latest release of Azure Stack HCI is Azure Arc enabled by default to provide administrators with visibility across multiple deployments and leverage their choice of Azure services. Developers and users of virtual machines running on Azure Stack HCI will receive self-service machine control from Azure to help inventory, organize, and control distributed virtualization environments. Additionally, managed service providers and system integrators can utilize these capabilities with Azure Lighthouse to create powerful, scalable solution. Second is enhanced integration with VMware vSphere. Customers building on working in a hybrid cloud environment will experience enhanced integration between Azure Arc and VMware vSphere. Developers and users of VM running on vSphere will receive self-service VM control from Azure, enabling them to create, configure, operate, and delete VMs based on existing or new vSphere template. This gives VM administrators visibility across multiple vSphere deployments and leverages their choice of Azure services to help them inventory, organize, and control distributed virtualization environment. Azure Arc enabled machine learning inferencing is also included in this update. Customers can now build, train, and deploy machine learning model in on-premises multi-cloud and edge computing. Environments using Azure Machine Learning and simplified and fully managed services learning add-on can be deployed with one click on Arc-enabled Kubernetes and supports Google Cloud Platform and Amazon Web Services Kubernetes clusters. New Azure Virtual Desktop features support for Azure HCI. Azure Virtual Desktop for Azure HCI, now in preview, is designed for customers who want a modern cloud service for desktops and application virtualization, but also need to support some apps and data on premises. Azure Stack HCI is a hyper-converged infrastructure solution that you can deploy data centers and extend run Azure services. With Azure Virtual Desktop, customers can now enable employees to use modern virtual desktop infrastructure solution with Windows 10 and Windows 11 desktops and apps from their data centers. IT implementers can save on cost with Windows 10 multi-session and Windows 11 multi-session, a capability previously found only on public Azure cloud. They can now also meet data sovereignty, residency, address latency, and continue to benefit from consistent management experience in Azure. In addition, a new auto-scale feature in Azure Virtual Desktop, now in preview, will enable user to start or stop session host automatically based on defined schedule. This enables user to save on cost by shutting down idle session hosts during off-peak hours while ensuring enough capacity to meet users' need during the peak hours. New updates and enhancements for Windows Server on Azure. Azure Auto Manage allows IT admins and DevOps pros to simplify and optimize IT management with automated operations. Azure Auto Manage machine best practices, which supports Windows Server, Linux virtual machines, VM on Azure, and Azure Arc enabled server has few new capabilities. Custom configuration profiles to both Windows Server and Linux VM, select from a list of Azure services such as Azure Backup and Security Center and apply to Azure VMs. Supply for Azure Arc enabled server VMs, including on Azure Stack HCI in preview. Apply auto managed services to both Linux and Windows Server VMs or any Arc enabled servers. Azure Auto Manage for Windows Server enables unique innovation for new Windows Server VMs on Azure. And it has the following enhancement like hot patch, quick deploy of security updates without having to frequently reboot, which is in preview. SMB over QUIC, securely access new file servers remotely over untrusted networks and without a VPN, which is generally available. Extended network for Azure. You can migrate Windows Server workloads to Azure while preserving the original IP address, and this is generally available. In terms of Azure Infra, we have new Azure Virtual Machine Scale Set. So Azure Virtual Machine Scale Set flexible orchestration mode is now generally available. This new set of capabilities allow customers to manage virtual machines in large scaled out application environments. The deployment, management, and scalability of their application are now simplified, providing full control of the additional individual VM within the scale set while increasing application resiliency at large scale. Thousands of VMs. These new capabilities provide simplified customer experience and combine the functionality of availability sets and virtual machine scale set. Azure customers will now be able to change the VM size without redeploying their scale set, resulting in a greater operational agility. mixed spot virtual machine and pay-as-you-go VM within the same scale set to optimize cost, spread instances across fault domains automatically, to specify a fault domain to ensure high availability, automatically increase or decrease the VMs in scale set based on the matrix, schedule, or AI predictions. Manage VMs and virtual machine scale set using the same API. New Azure virtual machines for better price performance. New Azure virtual machine that deliver better price performance for most general purpose and memory intensive workloads compared to prior virtual machine generations are now part of the Azure virtual machine portfolio and include general availability of DV5 and EV5 Azure virtual machines, which delivers up to 15% increased performance for most workloads and can scale up to 96 vCPUs. These work well for most general computing workloads, including e-commerce systems. New DAS v5 and EAS v5 Azure virtual machines, which are based on third generation of AMD EPYC7736V processor. These new VMs provide options with and without local disk, storage for lower price entry. They are ideal for memory intensive extensive enterprise application, large relational database servers. This update is generally available. The upcoming preview of EBS v5 Azure Virtual Machine, a new memory optimized VM series that delivers up to 300% increase in remote storage performance compared to EV5 VMs. The new VMs offer up to 120,000 input-output operations per second and 4,000 MBs of remote disk storage throughput, making it ideal for data-intensive workloads. Several updates for Azure, updates and enhancement support for Azure Monitor. Now, Azure Monitor is launching several enhancement and capabilities for customer for better manage and monitor their Azure on-premises apps, infrastructure, and network resources, including open telemetry support for application insights, an open source standard for vendor neutral instrumentation with exporters for .NET, Node, and Python apps, which is in preview. Enhanced troubleshooting for Azure Firewall and VPN gateway in network insights, including new resource topology, views, and pre-built monitoring workloads, which is generally available. Event Hub integration with Azure Monitor alerts and network isolation, which is also generally available. They can enable receipt of alert notification over a secure network using Event Hub and private links. Updates on Azure Disk Storage, now generally available. Disk storage allows customer to increase the performance above the provisional limit and is most suitable for mission critical workloads when performance letdowns are not an option, even with spikes in demand. On-demand disk bursting is now available for Azure Disk Storage. Unlike credit-based system where customer can only burst if they have accumulated credits, on-demand bursting allows customers to burst 6 times up to 30,000 input-output operations per second and 1,000 MBs of throughput, the provisioned amount when needed. This provides flexibility to scale performance to meet demand while optimizing costs. This is available for Azure Premium Solid State Drives or SSDs. Virtual Machines Selector helps find right virtual machines. The Azure Virtual Machine portfolio continues to expand. Now customer can quickly select the right Azure Virtual Machine based on their specific workloads and budget using new virtual machine selectors. The new virtual machine selector, now generally available, lets customers specify category of workload they want to deploy in addition to VM technical specification, disk storage performance, region, and OS. The tool then displays the set of recommended VMs and disk storage. Customer can make better budget forecast with the pricing calculated by adding the VMs to estimate the overall total cost. Azure Virtual Machine Selector is now available in 26 different languages. Coming to the last part of this is Azure Migration. So Azure Migration and Modernization Program expands coverage areas. So the Azure Migration and Modernization Program, or known as AMMP, has provided thousands of customers with expert help and best practices across their apps, infrastructure, and data, whether they are modernizing existing investments or migrating to the cloud. With these additions, AMMP provides comprehensive coverage for customers to move their applications, data, and infrastructure to Azure while enabling hybrid flexibility and enhanced security posture. AMMP has made additional support for available following scenarios. Security is deepening its focus on security and additional guidance and deployment assistance for services like Azure Security Center and Azure Defender. Hybrid Azure Arc AMMP will help customers with deploying Azure Arc to workloads that need to remain on premises or aren't ready to move yet, helping them consistently manage cloud and on-premises environment. Expand app modernization. AMMP will help customers move their Red Hat OpenShift environments to Azure and build new cloud-native apps using containerized and microservices architecture and DevOps approach. ASAP. AMMP will help customers to plan and move their SAP environments to Azure. With this, I want to end here and thank you very much for listening in. This is all about Ignite November 2021 Azure update focusing on Azure infrastructure. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.